Everybody be cool. You be cool.
That CPU just got violated.
There are very limited amount of cases that I actually cover in this channel because I think they're very, very similar and not a lot of them kind of raise my eyebrows. But this one here is special because they've solved two major things, which is performance and value, and on top of that, aesthetics. This is a very special case, and mark my words, there's gonna be lots of them coming out this year.
It's time your CPU is not the bottleneck anymore. MSI Raider A18HX featuring the AMD Ryzen 9 9955HX 3D processor with 16 performance cores and 144 megabytes of second-gen AMD 3D V-Cache technology. Not just the world's fastest mobile gaming processor, but also a great workhorse for creators. It's for those with extreme performance needs and no compromises. MSI Overboost Ultra technology delivering 175 watts of graphics power to the RTX 5090 plus additional 85 watts to the AMD Ryzen 9 9955HX 3D processor. That's a 260 watt total portable power, and the CPU allows full overclocking for the enthusiasts. Plenty of I/O including two USB 4 ports, full-size SD card reader, and an RJ45 port. 18-inch mini LED 4K display with 120Hz and display HDR 1000. Gen 5 NVMe with a dedicated heat pipe for cooling. Whether gaming, creating, or AI workloads, it delivers in all fronts. Check out more information in the description below, as well as our full video on this laptop. Thanks AMD and MSI for sponsoring this part of the video.
By the way, if you're a creator and you want to get access to all of our benchmark database, then check out this QR code over there and sign up for our email list where we actually get the relevant information to you. If there's a workflow upgrade or some crazy tech that comes out that actually impacts you, you'll get it directly into your inbox. Check it out in the video description below. This is from Deepcool. This is Deepcool CL6600. They're running a very special dual chamber layout, as you can see on the top there. But this actual concept is not necessarily new. The first time I saw this, I think I saw this with HP, and HP did some of their pre-built cases that they actually released. Apparently, every single panel here is supposed to be toolless removal. So, okay, side panel glass comes off. There are screws in here, these two screws, and then we can get the top chamber off if we wanted to. And if you can see inside, there is also something very interesting already happening. It comes with pre-installed 360mm AIO. The radiator and fans are on the top, and then the pump is in here. Plus, this design of the pump is nothing like any of the other Deepcool designs, which I'm pretty happy about as well. This, you need some screws in there to actually take this one off. Then this comes off. What about the front? Undo what we can from the back. This is the top chamber, and then now we slide it backwards, and then this whole thing comes off. Now, this is fairly affordable or budget stainless steel, and I can see there's already a little chip on the paint in that little corner here, if you can see. So in terms of quality, Deepcool has tried to make it more affordable rather than the top quality, but still, as you can see through, there's mesh, and this is the top chamber. If you've seen this before and you are subscribed, double tap the screen right now. But if you haven't subscribed yet, then you're part of the 80% that are watching the videos but are not subscribed. Consider subscribing so you don't miss the future uploads. So I can see that there is plenty of space between the fans over there, but I'll have to get a screwdriver into here to get this off actually. So you can see there is quite a bit of space in there. So if you wanted to, potentially you could also get the top chamber to be push and pull configuration. So let's take this off here as well. By the way, these top panel screws in there were different, size compared to these back panel ones. So the different screws, bear that in mind. Okay, the side panel. Another thing we noticed in the back here is dust filter and power supply extension cord. But maybe you've already noticed this bit here, which is that how can you put a power supply in there? Because there's not enough space. Because if we turn this around this side, the power supply actually goes over there. We can take this flap, just comes off, and the power supply gets installed right over there. And then all the connectors are coming up on the side or coming out from here to the top or wherever you need them, which is actually a very genius idea, because now you've got very easy accessibility to all of your power supply cables. Let's say you need extra GPU cables or PCIe or SATA cables or something like that. They're just in here. You don't have to like, oh, where's my power supply cables? That's very, very interesting. What are all these things? Oh, see, you get the back, oh yeah, because there's a cooler installed as well. So basically you get all the cooler accessories with this as well. Even thermal paste and everything installed there. Instructions and a nice case. Well done, Deepcool. Not just any random bags, just everything is nicely in this box. Now, when we move to the front, the nice thing is there's actual real wood in there. And I believe this, will this come off? I'll have to look at the instructions. Oh, does the front panel come off? See, there's like a handle bit in there. I should be able to pull this off. I just don't want to pull it too hard. This is the dust filter for the power supply that goes in the front. Yeah, you just need to yeet it. The front panel has dust filter in here as well, but very nice minimalistic, kind of, I don't want to say this, but you know, Scandinavian design from some other companies that you might know very, very well. Front, radiator and fan support, 140 millimeters. There's a button in there, and I like that a lot because I've nowhere to put my headphones, but this, you've got a headphones holder. This is a really, really cool addition. Now, let's undo these 4 screws in here. So this is not fully toolless. You have to have some kind of screwdriver. It's the same screws on the other side, exactly in the same place. Now this top is supposed to come off, but you might see from this side, they've actually screwed the AIO on the back plate of this. So we're gonna have to unscrew the AIO as well. There were some standoffs. So you do need those standoffs. Cool thing is the AIO is off. I've just undone those screws and technically this should just lift off. Voila, look at that. Imagine how easy it is to build a PC now in here. Later, when you get to the cooling bit, you just attach that into the top, which is so easy. And it's all pre-installed already. So PC building is going to be very, very simple. We've got some RGB cover and I'm quite liking this design there. There's nothing on the top in there. So as you can see, there's no ventilation that goes through the top. That's why we've got a separate chamber. Just put this back for a minute so I can explain this. So the reason this design is so clever is that all of the hot components inside a PC, which is GPU, your RAM gets hot, all the MOSFETs and VRMs for the power delivery for the CPU, they all get hot in there. And when you now want to cool your CPU, usually you've got the radiator in there and you're pushing hot air kind of through your CPU radiator. Now, because the radiator is completely separate and the top is blocked, all the hot air remains in this chamber and we can just kind of exhaust, pull in all the cool air for the GPU, which is from the front and from the bottom. These are 2 reverse fans that come with the case. They cool the GPU and the rest of the components that push it all the way this way and then out from the back. And then all of the cooling for the CPU is completely separately on the top, which I am a huge fan of. Now, interestingly, underneath here, like underneath these fans, there's not a lot of stuff happening. There's nothing to really do there. The interesting thing is that the motherboard actually goes further down onto the bottom. So if you look at the motherboard standoffs, they go right on the bottom there, and then the motherboard just goes further down into there, which means that all of your motherboard connectors are kind of hidden behind these fans. You see this uniformed design there. So if you wanted to, look, the same screws, we can take these screws off from the front. Uh-oh. Thank you. So now this panel comes off as well. Look, there's even a little air vent for this in the front here. So if you're pulling air in from the side, it actually gets ventilated in there as well. So what you can see is there is this power supply cable. So this extension cord takes it all the way to the back, on the back of the PC case, which is there. So that extension cable runs in there. So when your power supply comes into there, you just plug it in from here. And you can take this fan bracket off here as well. When you're installing your motherboard and all the other bits in there, everything comes off right over there. Plus another thing you can see here is a GPU sag bracket that is built in as well. And you can see back panel connectors for the motherboard, that's also supported. The interesting bit is this front bit here is kind of an empty space, but this is good for the airflow. It pushes the airflow through right over there. If we look at the back of the case, in terms of cable management, the main kind of cables are running on this side. So interestingly, usually this comes like on the back of the motherboard, but now they run from here just because your power supply is there. Some hard drive and SSD support on the back of this panel in there, but I think this is absolutely amazing. Do I think this case is absolutely amazing? I think this is fascinating. In fact, it's so fascinating. I'm gonna do a PC build in this PC case because I wanna see if this actually works. So if you wanna stick around for that, stick around. If you wanna check this out, the price point for this is roughly around $190, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but what I've seen so far. If you think about the cooler that also comes with it, which is 100 something coolers, and the case, and 2 fans, it's a very good price for the case. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description below. I've got some awesome information for creators. As you know, we benchmark hundreds of GPUs and CPUs and other tech on the channel for creators. If you scan this QR code over here, you get access to our internal data and benchmark database. There's also a link in the video description below if you want to check that out. And we'll also be sending you my 3 tips for optimizing your PC that I also do for video editing. So if you're interested in that, scan that QR code. If you have any other questions or requests, check out Minect in the video description below. I'll always get back to my Minect messages 100% and very fast. So if you want that, link in the description below. If you'd like to stay up to date with the tech and information that's important for creators, highly recommend signing up to our mailing list, which you can scan through this QR code or find the link in the description below as well. And this is for people who don't have time to always search for the information, but just want the right information to land directly into their email box. And I am not a big fan of spamming inbox because I'm one of you guys. So I've just created a way how you can get access to the best information relevant for you. And hey, if you've reached this far, then YouTube thinks that this is one of the videos that you'll like next. And actually hitting that like button, it makes a difference. Subscribe with bell to not miss any of the future uploads. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much guys for watching. Bye-bye.